Something I've learned on my own journey of recovery and personal development that has really had a major impact on my life was the fact that I do not experience any external situation, event, circumstance the way that it is. And what that means is nobody can make me feel anything. No situation can upset me. No person can make me angry. And I know that goes against our traditional way of thinking, because we've all been conditioned to think, well, you hurt me, the situation sucks. That is why I feel the way that I do. But what I've learned is that my experience is only the result of the way that I feel about a situation. And the only way that my feeling about the situation can come about is as a result of internal processes in my brain and my body. And those internal processes in my brain and my body are biochemical reactions to what is going on in my mind, in my head at the time. So somebody says something to me that I find hurtful, and I think hurtful thoughts about what the person said. And within a split second, my nervous system responds by releasing a whole range of chemicals. Those chemicals are released into my system, into my bloodstream, and I feel the emotion. So I'm thinking very angry thoughts. Stress hormones are being released in response to the angry thought, and I feel the anger. And then I say, this person made me angry. Now, obviously, we don't take responsibility for why the person did what they did, but why they did what they did is their stuff. They cannot make me feel a certain way. So instead of saying the person made me angry, it is more true to say the person said something to me that I thought angry thoughts about. My nervous system responded neurochemically, and I feel the anger. And then in addition to that, an even greater gift is that that particular emotion carries a message for me with regards to some underlying thoughts, some underlying beliefs. I'll give an example, and I'm sure most of us can relate to that. If I'm having a really, really good day and everything is going fine and I really feel upbeat, and somebody says to me, I don't like you, it's not really going to affect me that much. I may be more inclined to think, well, that's your opinion. I'm sorry that's the way you feel. But if I'm already having some self-doubts, maybe some self-worth issues, I'm having a bad day, and somebody says to me, I don't like you, I'm going to be far more inclined to react based on what is triggered inside of me. And there's quite a powerful saying, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. In other words, we don't respond to external factors purely the way they are. We respond to external factors based on who we are, what is going on inside of us. And I want to again make the statement that I don't take all the responsibility. Some people may just have very, very negative intention, but that is their stuff. So how does it help me to understand this principle? I can take back some power. Because if I'm angry at a person for hurting my feelings, or I'm upset at them for hurting my feelings, number one, I'm putting that person in charge of my emotions. So every time I see them or think about them, indirectly, inadvertently, they're deciding for me how I feel. And number two, every time I think about the situation in the same way, I re-experience something that is no longer happening because I am reacting to the thought. So to sort of make it all make sense, there's something that we call a thought cycle, particularly in cognitive behavioral therapy, and this is what this whole principle is based on. So if you can imagine a circle, at the top of the circle, there is the event. Somebody says something. And underneath the circle, there is a core belief. At some level, I have a belief about myself, about people, about life, about the world. For the most part, which I am unconscious of, I may not even know I have this belief. So somebody says to me at that moment in time, I don't like you, you irritate me. Immediately, a belief about myself that nobody likes me, or a belief you can't trust people, or a belief that life sucks, whatever it may be, gets triggered. And immediately there is a thought in response to. So there is the event, there's the belief, and there's the thought. Now imagine an arrow from the thought going towards the right, the emotion. That is the biochemical reaction to my thinking / my narrative / the story I'm telling myself / the meaning I'm giving to the situation based on whatever belief was triggered. Now imagine another arrow going from emotion to reaction. The way that I feel about it, the way that I'm experiencing it, the feelings that are triggered right now, I really, really feel very angry and very upset. And then another arrow to the left, the outcomes or the results. My day is spoiled. It just proves to me that nobody likes me. And that another arrow back to thought, that outcomes or that results confirms the thought or the belief. That, well, the belief that nobody likes me or life sucks, that triggers this thought. So now we create this constant loop, this feedback loop. So what I'm thinking feeds into my emotion, and my emotion feeds into my thinking. And the more I try to change the situation, the more I resist the situation, the worse my emotions become. But if I can understand, as I said, that what is happening here is there is something being triggered in me. Every person, every situation serves as my mirror and my teacher. So let's give this person a name who upset me, Chris. If I understand this process and I've thought about it, I could say, Chris, thank you for this opportunity of the awareness that there is something in me that has just been triggered. So therefore you mirrored something back to me. I'm projecting something inside of me onto you, the majority of this process. Of course, whatever Chris did can contribute towards it, but it's only an estimated 10% contribution. So thank you for mirroring that back to me, and thank you for teaching or serving as my teacher for providing me an opportunity now to address this. And I've experienced that in my own life, developing that kind of understanding. It brings about a whole different experience, particularly when it comes to situations that, and we are going to experience negative situations as part of life, but that we learn actually, well, if I can just take a step back, just for a couple of seconds, evaluate what is really happening here. And what makes it even more interesting is that if I experience a strong emotion at the time, and I'm just going to say something quickly. I like using big words because they make me sound intelligent. There's a process called hypofrontality that kicks in at that moment in time. My brain is releasing stress hormones in response to this thought of pain and anger. What happens is the rational thinking, logical part of the brain literally goes offline. I can't think clearly, I can't think straight, and I'm far more inclined to be reactive. Whereas if I can check that emotion has just been triggered, I can own it, just for a second or two, take a step back and think, what is happening here? I've just been triggered. That keeps the rational brain going, and I can actually make a more rational choice. How am I going to deal with it? For example, I can then say to Chris, wow, that really made me think very angry, sad thoughts, and I'm feeling very angry and sad right now. What is happening here? What made you say that? Because I will be in the mental, have the mental ability to do that, whereas just giving my power away to the situation, being purely reactive, I can't think clearly, I can't think logically, and I'm going to continue being reactive. The proverbial law of attraction also comes into play because my emotion releases a very negative energy that is contribute to attracting more and more situations where I can get upset, I can get angry because I've got these core beliefs. And so I literally, and this is probably the point that meant the most to me, I literally realized that I create my own reality. Because my reality is simply the way I experience things. My reality is not the external things that are introduced to me, how I relate to them become my reality. And as I said in the beginning, this has been an incredibly powerful, simple but powerful tool that I've learned over a number of years and being able to implement them. Am I always immediately aware of the fact that I've been triggered? No, not necessarily. It might take me a couple of seconds to realize, but you sort of train yourself. The emotion tells me right now, I need to do something about this. Now, if it's not an overwhelming emotion, not that serious, but just that awareness is incredibly powerful. So I really hope that anybody who listens to this can give it some thought. And it's really a very simple process. Just take a step back. What am I feeling right now? something in me is just being triggered. I'm going to own this and I'm going to address the situation in the best possible way. If I can, I might need to give it some time. But at least I don't land up feeling overwhelmed emotionally that could spiral into depression or anxiety and just cause more negative reactions. So I hope that little nugget is helpful for some people.